Oh my gosh. My forehead looks like Kylo Ren's helmet top. That's so good. Hello, and welcome to a brand new Finley Ghost video. Count yourself lucky. But we have a very interesting video today. I'm really excited about this one because there's a content creator that I really love. Actually, I guess like a company called Last Stand Media, and they have a podcast called Sacred Symbols. It's a PlayStation podcast. You should check it out. It's really good. But one of the hosts, Colin Moriarty, stands by the idea that the PlayStation Plus collection, that is exclusive to PS5, by the way, of 20 games, their best games, I guess, first party, most of them, right? I think there's some third party in there. We'll see in a second. He says that is better than all of Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass. There's like nearly 400 games if you do the Ultimate Edition, which I like. Game Pass Ultimate. I think a lot of people do that one though. So I'm gonna compare the two and see which one is better. 20 games versus nearly 400. Let's find out. But before we dive into that, I'd like to let you know that I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time over on twitch.tv/FinleyGhost. Come check it out. Let's have a chill time. But let's dive into this, huh? Let's check this out. Now, if you missed it, I did a stream actually trying to find all this stuff over on twitch.tv/FinleyGhost Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Check it out. 8:30 p.m. Comparing PS Plus collection with the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate as of July 29th, 2021. So obviously the games kind of rotate in and out with Game Pass. I don't know if that's going to be the case for PS Plus collection down the line, but at least as of this date, this is the direct comparison between the two. Now, as you can see, obviously, all we have are 20 games. 20 games over in the PS Plus collection. Again, it's free if you have a PS Plus subscription only on PS5. Kind of a weird little caveat. I wish that they would make it available on PlayStation 4. I guess it's an incentive to go ahead and buy the PS5, I suppose. I guess that makes sense. But there's no reason why this shouldn't be on PS4 either. All these games were on PS4. You know, I've only been giving them my money for like the past 4 years for PS Plus. I guess I don't need some free games, like a real great comprehensive list of free games, the best of the best that PlayStation has to offer. And then over on the Game Pass side, we gotta scroll for days. So many games, a lot of great games, but there we go. Finally gets to the end. Now, there's 3 fields above this or whatever, so if you subtract 3 from 395, you get 392 games as of July 29th, 2021 for Game Pass. There may be even more than that, less than that now. I have no idea. It depends on the time that you're watching this video. But holy smokes, this is a lot of games. And also, as of right now, you can pick up Game Pass Ultimate for $15 a month, I believe. Let's check that out, actually. Yes, it is indeed $15 a month. Now, a lot of the times they do some promotions and stuff where you can get it for $1 for a month or 3 months or something like that. That's the 3-month one is the one that I picked up to decide, checking it out. And I'm just doing the PC version, so I'm not actually paying that much. I think I'll be paying $10 a month once it starts going monthly. And honestly, I don't see the price changing anytime soon. Now, on the live stream that I did to collect all this data, I thought it would be a good idea to basically go through Metacritic and grab all of the scores of each one of these games. This took about 3 hours to do. You could check out the stream. There's a couple of weird things where I couldn't find an actual metascore for the game. So I just grabbed a couple of different reviews and stuff and just found out the average. You know, if you think that there's a major asterisk on all this stuff, go ahead and watch the stream, decide for yourself if you think it's ridiculous. And as you can see, most of the PlayStation Plus collection games have really good scores. There's only like 2 that are below 80, which is insane. We have Until Dawn, which is basically 80. It's like right there. And then we have Days Gone, which is at a 71, which honestly, with the way that people are talking about it now, it might score even higher if people were getting into it today. I do remember there being a lot of issues when it first came out, and that's kind of why it got review bombed in a way. But, you know, I'm collecting the review as it was given at the time, so I'm not gonna freaking... I just told you that I'm only able to do stuff after 8:30. What do you want from me? And then when you come over here to Xbox Game Pass, you can see that the quality dips. We have Anthem for 65, Costume Quest 2 for 65, Dark Alliance for 58. Holy smokes. Even Dead by Daylight got 58. That's a pretty popular game on Twitch. That's super weird that that's so low. Again, it's probably the first time that it got reviewed, and it was probably crap when it first came out. Jeez, and then Dead Space Ignition really taking things down all the way to 35. Jeez. But I think you get the point. There's a lot of crap in the Xbox Game Pass collection. Now, after about 3 hours of doing this and just going through Metacritic, searching for each individual game, and sometimes not being able to find the game and have to frickin' figure out a whole different averaging way to get the average score, I guess. I added up every single one of the fields in each column, and then obviously did a nice little average between all of it, right? Dividing it all by the number of things that were there. And out of that, we get some interesting results. Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I first heard Colin say that the PS Plus collection was pound for pound better than anything on Game Pass, I was just like, that's the stupidest thing that I've ever heard, because Game Pass has almost 400. It must be 5,000 times better. And again, as of right now, the games that are on there, it's starting to break out from where Netflix was about 10 years ago almost, when most of the movies were just like crappy sci-fi movies and all that stuff, and then they started coming out with their own original content and getting some really good traction underneath them to have like the best of the best movies. There's still a lot of garbage, I'm not gonna lie. Their original movie game is horrible, but their TV shows they're good. So of course, you know, in some time, I think, and especially with the announcements that are coming out and with the Bethesda games that are going to be coming out and the day one Game Pass stuff that they're advertising all over the place, eventually I think this lineup is going to have a lot of great games that are going to beat the PS Plus collection. And at that point, PlayStation needs to up the game a little bit, because all of these are amazing games, but they're starting to age just a little bit. Bloodborne came out a long time ago. Infamous Second Son came out when the PS4 came out, or close to it. And then The Last of Us was technically a PlayStation 3 game, but then they remastered it and put it on PlayStation 4 immediately after, and it looks a little bit better, but it's still technically an old game. So they'll definitely need to up their game at some point, because these are gonna get much, much older. But let's stop stalling, let's stop just moseying around it. Let's actually show the averages and see how they stack up against each other. Boom. We have the Metascore average for PS Plus collection at 85 out of 100. 85.25. That's really good. I mean, anytime that I check IMDb, if I'm looking at the scores or the reviews, I guess, of the movies that are coming out, I usually think to myself, like, anything that's a 7.7 and above is totally worth watching in the movie theater. Definitely if it's above 8, it's like, you gotta go see it in the theaters. So 85.25? Dang, dude. That's amazing. And then we get over to the Game Pass side. And that's when I realized that I was giving Xbox a little bit too much credit. We have 77.63 out of 100. Now again, by my standards of, IMDb, a 77 or 7.7 out of 10 or 100 is worth playing, I would say. And so but it's barely there. In my mind, if it's a 7.6 to like maybe a 7.3, it's worth playing if you can get it at a pretty good price. But 77's still good. It's worth picking up. If all of this averaged out to be one game, it would still be worth playing. But it would be the game that's streamable for like a couple of weeks, and then people would probably stop talking about it and then move on to the next game. But you gotta hand it to them. They got options. They got options for days, for years. But after I finished this, I thought, there's only 20 games on the PS Plus collection. Wouldn't it make sense if only 20 games in the Game Pass library is just as good as the games that are in the PS Plus collection? So I decided that I would tally up how many games are in each score and basically show, if I could, that as long as there's an equal or higher amount in the Xbox Game Pass library as opposed to the PS Plus collection, we should, in theory, have just as good of a library. And that's what this is. I broke everything out into each metascore, going down to 70. I did not want to go anywhere past that because it's probably not even worth talking about it. Because, so what if the average is really bad on the Game Pass library? As long as we have enough good games that match the amount that's on the PS Plus collection, we should be good. And some people like horrible games. They're streamable. And as you can see, over on the PlayStation side, we don't really have that much. I mean, yeah, it's 20 games, so that makes sense. Many of these, we only have one game in each tier. And only 5 that have 2, with 93, 87, 85, 80, and 78. That doesn't make sense. Whoops. Oh, remember that one time when I said that there was only like 2 games under 80? Never mind, I guess there's 4 that are under 80. I shouldn't be making videos. And then you get over to Game Pass, and there's only one time that you see the number 1, and it's got a 97 metascore. And then you got 2, 3, 6, 3, 5, 8, 13, 7, 11, 11, 22, 17, 16, 23, 21, 19, 24, 25, 15, 17, 7, 21, 10, 7, and 9. And in case you missed it, that's the amount of games that are in each one of these score tiers. It's a lot of really good games. So in theory, Game Pass should be better than the PS Plus collection. But then there's one more thing that I thought of. And I only did it with the titles that are above a 90 metascore. Let's actually look at each game and see, just mentally and how different circles have talked about it, if they really do seem to stack up against the PS Plus collection. This is gonna be where it starts to get a little more biased. Everything up until now has been pretty much facts. When you look at all the game titles that are 90 plus on Game Pass, they're all really old. Mass Effect 2 is old. Skyrim is really old, even though they try to keep it as relevant as possible. Celeste isn't old, but it's an indie game, which isn't a knock on indie games. That's pretty much, I love indie games, but it's not AAA, right? Gears of War is old. Oblivion's super old. Fallout 3, Gears of War 2, Mass Effect 3. What is this? This is the old version of Final Fantasy VII. Hey, Horizon 4 is pretty good, actually. Flight Simulator is pretty good. Indie. Old. Indie. I think that's good. And is this indie? Does Xbox own this? And then over here with PlayStation, they're old, but not as old. I guess this one's kind of old. But God of War came out in the past few years. Persona 5 came out in the past few years. Uncharted 4 came out in the past few years. Bloodborne, when did that come out? Oh, 2015, that's not horrible. And Monster Hunter World came out in the past few years. And so when you take into account how old some of these games are, I'm sure they wouldn't actually review as well as they did back in the day. As much as I loved playing GoldenEye when I was a kid, that game frickin' sucks to play these days. So as far as the AAA conversation goes, I would have to say that PS Plus collection probably has Game Pass beat. Because when you go back and look at the games, we have some amazing games on here. So Colin might actually have a point. I don't know. I mean, I was kind of too lazy to go through all the 80s because as you can see, once you get under 90, it gets into the teens. So I'm not going to go through. You could do that on your own, I suppose, if you want to. But of course, if you love indie games and you don't really care for the AAA titles, then you might give the edge to Game Pass. Just thinking about it from that perspective, I might. Because Undertale is great. What Remains of Edith Finch is great. Dead Cells is awesome. Hollow Knight, Limbo's great. Art in this game is amazing. Celeste, oh my gosh, so many people have talked about Celeste. So I would probably say at this point, I guess it comes down to personal preference. As far as AAA titles go, it's PS Plus collection for me. Speaking towards indies, Game Pass has it. And just look at the games that are coming out constantly on Game Pass. Most of them are indies and a lot of them are amazing. But there you have it, that's the list. If you agree with me, disagree with me, I don't really care. These are my opinions, and if you think I'm totally wrong, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Tell me how wrong I am. Tell me what you think. Which one's better, Game Pass or PS Plus collection? I don't freaking know. But yeah, let me know. What do you think's better? But I think that's gonna do it for me in this video. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching it. Share it with your friends. Remember to check out my streams over on twitch.tv/FinleyGhost Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And follow me on all the social medias, whatever the frick, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm at FinleyGhost on all of them. But with all that said and done, I will see you in the next life, my friendly ghosts. Bye-bye.